Guys, Paul Martin Belts back here again with a brand new video. This is going to be a detailed look at the customized Fiend Universal belt I've made recently. So you might have seen this on Twitter and on Instagram before. I made this a few months back, shortly after the Fiend debuted. I should point out straight away, this is an adult-sized Universal replica that I modified with a custom real leather strap and a custom banner here. So yeah, the plates themselves are the Universal plates from WWE Shop, or Euroshop in this case. And yeah, the things we customized again, the leather strap and the banner. So for those wondering, this is not a design that I am selling on my website or will be selling anytime in the future. This is just a design that I had an idea for and wanted to customize my own belt with. I won't be selling anything with the WWE's designs on them and that. So just before the messages start flooding in, as they already have been. Okay, so now that that's out the way, we'll talk about the belt. And now, we won't really go into the plates themselves because you already know what the adult size version of these plates look like. We'll talk about, firstly though, the customized banner here. So this is a metal banner, and as you can see, the Fiend across the center part of it with repeating "Let him in" all the way up and down the left and right of the banner. So you can see in red, it's got "Let him in," and then even smaller around the border, it does say "Let him in." Now, it does say "Let him in" rather than "Let me in," because I started working on this and I made this based off of the Titantron on his debut at SummerSlam against Finn Balor, where the text did say "Let him in" rather than "Let me in." Going forward, it changed up to "Let me in" though, so this is a little bit dated, but yeah, we're talking about it anyway. So I do really like the way the custom banner came out. I think it's a nice addition rather than having it just saying Universal Champion. It customizes the plates just a little bit. I have left the standard WWE plates on the side there. They have been customized to unscrew from the front though, so they can be removed from there. Okay, we'll talk about the strap now. We'll start off from the left-hand side. Now, the color of the strap, I don't think it's showing up that great on the background, considering I am using a red background like I normally do for my videos, which probably ain't the best idea, but we're keeping it consistent. So as you can see here, obviously the color of it, it is the Universal belt, and this was made when that belt still was red. So I went for the red color scheme with it, but I didn't want it to be bright, and I didn't want it to be as clean as the belt itself is on TV. So we went for the red color scheme, but I antiqued it up and I dirtied it up. So it has a lot of black and it has a lot of fading in it. So we did kind of a scrub with I think the technique is called antiquing the leather, where we put a glaze almost of black over it, and it gets into all the stamping and all the details. So you can really see it on the barbed wire quite well, that it highlights all the tooling really nicely going all around there. So again, from the left hand side, you can see my signature. The idea for this belt that I originally had was do it as a standard Universal strap that's kind of been taken over by the Fiend. So the standard idea of it is that my signature was still there, but then the "Let him in" text has overtaken that. So you can see the signature starting, but the "Let him in" and the Fiend designs all go on top of that. So you can see, of course, the "Let him in" is a lot brighter as well. It's in a really bright red compared to the rest of the strap, which I wanted really that part and on the other side to stand out a lot more. We do have the standard 2x7 snap box here, and you can see behind in the snap box it has repeating "heel" and "hurt," "hurt" and "heel" all through the snap box there. And the "Let him in" lettering does continue past the snap box into kind of the crosshatch area here. And so my idea here was, rather than because this is where the WWE logo is on the real belts, instead of that I wanted to do a very customized design. So we went with the Fiend's head and his mask, which I think turned out really nicely. So really pleased about that. You can really see in the cross hatching as well the black and kind of the dirty look that I was going for on this belt. And again, moving on further around the plates themselves, the barbed wire tooling, which I went with barbed wire because I wanted it to kind of be a little bit more hardcore looking, a little bit less HD or less less WWE, if that's probably the best way to put it. So yeah, the barbed wire tooling going around the plates of the strap, I'm really happy with how that came out. Okay, behind the center plate itself, as you can see, it's not the standard kind of shell pattern tooling or whatever you want to call it, the pear pattern. Instead, again, we have the repeating the Fiend and Let Him In. So again, those stand out a lot more with the black. Again, really accentuating all the tooling. So I'm really happy with how that came out. Really pleased with that. Okay, moving on to the right-hand side. So a similar idea on this side again. We've got the Fiend head in the middle of the cross-hatched areas. And then we've actually got the text of The Fiend going all the way across the snap box and kind of under the gold tip itself, and then the hurt and heel repeats around the snap box again. So you can see again that dirty pattern, that kind of dirty coloring. I do like how it came out like this. Originally, before the antiquing was done, it was really clean, a really bright red, and as nice as that did look, I liked it a lot. It really didn't suit the idea that I kind of had for this belt, so really pleased with that. And again, you can see the Fiend lettering is a lot brighter a red, so it stands out somewhat better. Right, we'll flip the belt over, and on the back here we have a snake print backing, because I didn't want to keep this too standard. I thought plain black leather would have been a little too ordinary, so I wanted to give it something custom, so we went with the snake print backing, which I think is kind of suited for this belt. You've seen Bray Wyatt wrestle in snakeskin boots before, so it's probably stretching for reasons there, but I do think this came out really nicely. And again, I didn't want to just have it plain black leather, so the really nice snake textured backing. And again, the front there. The snake backing does affect the flexibility of the belt somewhat. It's not a huge deal, but this stays in a glass display cabinet anyway, so it's not a big issue there. Right, I think that was pretty much all there was to talk about for this belt. Like I said, I'm not going to be offering these as send-outs or re-leathers anytime in the future. This was, again, just an idea that I wanted to experiment with, and I might even continue again in the future. So, that being said, if you do want a standard replica re-leather or send-out strap, check out the link in the description box below to my website, Paul Martin Belts. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel. There'll be a lot more belt videos coming soon. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.
Yo, monkeys, it's me, DDP. And if you want to get one of the greatest belts made for you, go to Paul Martin Belts. That's right, sucker.